Welcome back to Unitique HR and Talent. If you're a leader who's used to working late, maybe constantly checking your emails well into the evening, or feeling like you can't fully switch off, this episode is for you. Let me ask you, when was the last time you genuinely detached from work after hours? If the thought feels unrealistic or a little daunting, you're definitely not alone. In today's world, especially for leaders, there's this persistent idea that you need to be on 24/7 to stay on top of things, to show your dedication, or to just keep up. You may find yourself replaying a recent conflict, strategizing for an upcoming meeting, or trying to get ahead on that ever-growing task list. For many, it feels like the only way to handle the demands of a leadership role.
This is Unitique. Please subscribe to this channel and like the video. It is important for us and for YouTube algorithms.
But here's the kicker. Not taking a break, especially in the evening, could actually be holding you back from being the best leader you can be. Let's talk about the key things. The importance of evening detachment science backs this up. Studies show that leaders who make an effort to fully detach from work in the evenings are sharper, more decisive, and far less stressed the next day. When you allow your mind to truly unwind, you're effectively recharging the mental energy you need for effective decision-making, focus, and resilience. For newer managers, this is even more critical. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the steep learning curve and the constant pressure to prove yourself. And unfortunately, if that evening break is missing, emotional exhaustion tends to come on fast. It's tough when you're just stepping into a leadership role because, let's face it, every new challenge feels like a high-stakes test of your ability. The good news is that small, intentional habits around switching off in the evening can make a big difference in managing that pressure. So let's talk through a few practical strategies for creating boundaries that help you recharge and avoid burnout. Step 1. Creating a definitive end to your workday. The first step is simple. Give yourself permission to shut down at a certain point each day. It's tempting to keep one eye on your email or sneak in a few more tasks, but making a clean break between work and personal time can be a game changer. Leaders who do this report better productivity and lower stress levels. Yes, better productivity by working less in the evenings. The goal isn't to be less dedicated, but to protect your mental energy for when it truly counts. Pick an activity you enjoy that helps take your mind off work. Maybe it's cooking, running, spending time with family, or diving into a good book. What matters is the shift in focus that allows your brain to rest and reset. Step 2. Establishing clear boundaries with your team. Next, let's talk about boundaries. In leadership, one of the biggest responsibilities is setting the tone for your team's work culture. And this includes defining what after-hours availability looks like. By making it clear when you're reachable and when you're not, you give yourself space to recharge, and importantly, you model a balanced approach for your team. After all, if you're constantly checking in at odd hours, your team may feel pressured to follow suit, leading to an overworked environment. Decide on your own after-hours policy. Maybe you only respond to true emergencies after a certain hour, or you designate one evening a week to check in and leave the rest untouched. The key is to set boundaries that align with your values and make work manageable within reasonable hours. Step 3. Understanding the performance boost of stepping away. There's often a worry that stepping back could make you seem less committed or might even reduce your productivity. But here's the reality. Leaders who can separate from work, who can come back each day with a fresh perspective, often earn more respect from their teams. The mental clarity and composure you bring after a true break make a tangible difference in how you're perceived and how effectively you perform. Think of it this way. When you're refreshed, you're less likely to micromanage, more equipped to handle challenges, and more present in the moments that matter. Step 4. Building resilience through rest. Finally, remember that resilience in leadership isn't just about powering through challenges. It's about knowing when to replenish. Each day brings new decisions, new problems, and new pressures. If you're starting your day already mentally drained, it's going to be a tough ride. That's why taking real time to rest matters. Use your evenings to focus on what genuinely relaxes you and brings balance. Family time, hobbies, a workout routine, or a quiet evening, whatever helps you recharge, is as important to your effectiveness as any meeting or deadline. The myth of constant availability. Let's be clear, the idea that leaders have to be available 24/7 to be respected or effective is just plain wrong. In reality, constantly being on often has the opposite effect, leading to burnout, lower productivity, and a blurred sense of priorities. Building respect and authority as a leader isn't about working the most hours, it's about using your energy strategically. Leaders who understand this set themselves up for long-term success, for themselves and their teams. Let's wrap up for today. Here are the final thoughts. I think it's refreshing that work culture is slowly shifting to prioritize quality over sheer quantity of hours worked. Leaders who embrace this mindset not only bring out their best, but inspire their teams to do the same. You're more than just the hours you put in, and that break you take in the evening isn't time wasted. It's time invested in showing up as the best leader you can be. Thanks for tuning in to Unitique HR and Talent. If you found today's episode helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with other leaders who might need a reminder to take that well-deserved break.